Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today.
So, my dear students, our lesson for today is a lesson in Standard 4th. The subject is English, and we are going to talk about why English is so hard. Now, it is a poem from your textbook, and it is lesson number 12 in your English textbook. So now before we go and try to understand why English is so hard, let us try to understand a little bit about English. Okay? And let us also try to understand why we use English, why we use Hindi, why we use Marathi, what are they called, and so on. So let us start by understanding what is English. Before we try to see why English is so hard, let us see what is English. Okay, so English is something which we use in order to communicate. Alright, communicate means to tell our ideas to others. So English is a language. Alright, and why is this English called a language? What is a language? Okay, English is a language we just knew now. What is a language? So suppose there are two people and these two people want to tell each other something. For example, this person wants to say, "How are you?" So the other person, after hearing this question, will answer and say, "I'm good, thank you." So what are they doing? They are using language. Okay? They are communicating with each other. They are telling each other something. Alright, so what is this language then? Language is something which you use for communication. So just like you have English language, you have so many other languages also. Like you have Hindi, which is our Rashtra Bhasha or our national language. Then you have Marathi, which is our state language. Okay, you also must have heard about languages like Gujarati, Telugu, Tamil, etc. And there are so many other languages also like Malayalam, you have Odia, you have Bangla. All these are languages from India. These are the Indian languages, isn't it? Now, just like we have different languages in India and just like people in India speak different languages, people around the world also speak different languages. Like, for example, we have the French language, we have the Spanish language. So people in this country called France, they speak French. People in this country called as Spain, they speak Spanish. People in Holland, they speak Dutch. Okay, people in Arabia, that is Saudi Arabia, they speak Arabic. Okay, and then we also have Latin. Now Latin is a language from which a lot of English language is born. So this is about language. So any language, children, it is used for communication. And there are so many words in a language, isn't it? English language was also made up of so many words. So the last lesson that you learned, if you remember, it was about dictionaries. Okay, so in this lesson we talked about how the words of the English language is found in the dictionary along with the meaning and so many other things. So this is about a language. So just like you have French, you have Spanish, you have Hindi, you have Marathi, you have Gujarati, in the same way English is also a language. So why is this English language considered to be so difficult? So come on, we have this beautiful poem. In this we will now see why this English language is considered to be so extremely difficult or not very easy to learn. Now children, remember, any language if you want to learn, you will have to take a little bit of efforts, okay? You will have to do a little bit of mehnat. So no language is easy to learn. All languages are a little difficult to learn, but English especially a little difficult compared to other languages because of the following reasons. We will see what the reasons are now. So we'll begin with a box. So what is this? It is a box, and the plural is boxes. So what is this? This is a box. And what is the plural? The plural is boxes. That means when there is one box, what do you say? You say box. And when there are a number of boxes, what do you say? Boxes. So the singular is box and the plural is boxes. So if you apply the same rule, if you talk about ox, but the plural of ox should be, what is the plural of ox? It should be oxen. It is oxen. It is not oxes. So it is difficult or not? English language is hard or not? Because when you say box, B-O-X, the plural is B-O-X-E-S. But when you say ox, only O-X, then what it should be? It should be O-X-E-S, isn't it? But it is not O-X-E-S, it is O-X-E-N. So isn't there a little bit of confusion? So that is why we are saying that English language is a little difficult. It is a little hard. Okay? Let us move on with the poem now. You may find a lone mouse. Who's this? This is a lone mouse. Lone means one mouse. Akela mouse. Lone mouse. Or a whole lot of mice. See? So mouse becomes mice. M-I-C-E. So when there is one mouse, you say mouse. When there are more, you say mice. But the plural of a house, what is this? H-O-U-S-E, house, is houses. What is the plural of a house? It is houses. It is not highs. Isn't it funny, children? M-O-U-S-E becomes M-I-C-E. But H-O-U-S-E does not become H-I-C-E. It becomes H-O-U-S-E-S. So mouse should have become mouses, isn't it? But no, mouse is mice. But house is not highs, it is houses. So that is the reason we are saying that English is hard. Once again, let us read this poem now, these two stanzas. We'll begin with the box, and the plural is boxes. But the plural of ox should be oxen, not oxes. You may find a lone mouse or a whole lot of mice, but the plural of a house is houses, not highs. Okay, so remember, along with finding out or along with understanding why English is so hard, we are also doing singular and plural. So keep this also behind your head. Okay, we are doing singular, plural also throughout this poem. Moving on, let us talk about the next two stanzas. If the plural of a man, when there is one person, you say man, is always called men. Okay, so when there is one person, you say man. When there are more than one people, what do you say? You say men. Okay, this man is going to the office. Those men are working in the kitchen. So man becomes men. Why shouldn't the plural of pan be called pen? So pan, P-A-N, pan. So what should pan become? It should become pen, isn't it? But pan doesn't become pen. It becomes pans. What does pan become? Pan becomes pants. So the plural of pan is pans, it is not pen. But the plural of man is not mans, but it is men. Can you see why the English language is so hard? And isn't this poem very interesting? Along with the poem, along with understanding why English language is hard, you're also learning the singular and plural here. Let's move on. And as I speak of a foot, so foot means this, pair, pie in Hindi. As I speak of a foot and you show me your feet. Foot means one, feet means two. Okay, so when you say one leg, ek pie, you say foot. When you say two legs, don pie, you say feet, isn't it? But I give you a boot. Would a pair be called a beat? So one shoe, you call it as a boot. But if there are two, will you call it as a beet? Of course not, because a beet is a type of vegetable. Okay? So that one may be that. Okay, so boot ka, what will you say? What is the plural of boot? You will say boots. Alright? That one may be that, and three may be those. So when there is one thing far away from you, you say that thing. But when there are three things, you say those things. So that becomes those, but yet the plural of hat, hat is what you wear on your head, would never be hose. Okay, hat will never be hose, it will be hats. So what is hose? See, this is hose, the pipe which you use in order to water your garden, that is called as hose. So isn't it this part of the lesson also interesting? So you are able to find out the singular plural of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words here. Okay, man becomes men, pan becomes pen, pan becomes pans and not pen, foot becomes feet, boot becomes boots and not beat, that becomes those, and hat becomes hats. Alright, once again let me read this part of the poem for you. So if the plural of man is always called men, why shouldn't the plural of pan be called pen? And I speak of a foot and you show me your feet, but I give you a boot, would a pair be called beat? That one may be that, and three may be those. Yet the plural of hat would never be hose. Alright, moving on to the last part of the poem. The muscular pronouns are he, his and him. So we are talking about pronouns also in this part of the poem. Masculine means boy, man, something related to a boy, something related to a man. If you have to talk about your brother, if you have to talk about your father, you're talking about masculine people. Okay, so whenever you talk about men, whenever you talk about boys, what do you say? You say he, you say his, and you say him. But imagine the feminine she, she's, and shim. So do you say she, she's, and shim? No. What do you say? You say she, her, isn't it? So that is how pronouns are used. Alright? So our English, I think you will all agree, is the trickiest language you ever did see. So that is why we are saying that English is a very, very tricky language. So let me read this last two stanzas also for you once again. The masculine pronouns are he, his, and him. But imagine the feminine she, shis, and shim. So our English, I think you will all agree, is the trickiest language you ever did see. So children, there is the first question here after the poem in your textbook. Why is the English language tricky? So will you be able to write the answer for this? Why is the English language tricky? Because the words, when they are in the singular and when they are in the plural, they go on changing. There is no one rule for the singular and plural, and also the pronouns can also change at times. Okay, so that is why the English language is tricky. So wasn't this a very, very interesting poem, children? Let's move on and let us look at the exercises in this poem. So you're supposed to write the singular of the following. I told you now we are going to get exercises based on singular and plural. So these kind of exercises are called as word exercises. When you grow up a little bit, when you go to a higher class, you will learn that it is called as vocabulary exercise. Vocabulary exercise. Okay, but now we will call it as a word exercise. So oxen, what is the singular of oxen? It is ox. We saw from the poem, isn't it? What is the singular of mice? It is mouse. What about men? It is man. What about feet? It is foot. Okay, so isn't this interesting? And I hope that when you come to such questions, children, you will pause the video and you will try to find the answers yourself. Okay, try to do self work here. These are all assignments for you. Do not copy ready-made answers, because I have explained it properly to you, so you will be automatically able to find the answers. So don't copy the answers. Okay, so whenever a question comes up like this, for example, pause the video here and try to find out the answer and write the answers yourself. So write the plural of the following. Now you're supposed to write the plural. There you wrote the singular. Okay, so if you want to write the singular, the plural will be given. And now here you want to write the plural, so the singular will be given. So you have boot, you have house, you have that, and you have pan. So come on, let's get to work and let's try and find out what the plural of these words are. So boot becomes boots. House becomes houses. That becomes those. And pan becomes pans. Okay, so I gave you all these answers, if you remember, children, when we were doing the poem together. So I'm sure all of you have been able to write these answers. So these are the word exercises which are there in your textbook. Okay, let us move on and let us do some more exercises which are part of this lesson now. So next we have a grammar exercise called pronoun. Okay, now in English language you will learn prose. Prose means you will learn stories. Poems. Poems means you will learn poetry. Okay, like the poem we just now. So that was a poem. You will also learn grammar. You will also learn word exercises. So today's grammar exercise, which is there in your lesson, is about pronouns. So here you can see the children saying one pronoun. So what are they saying? They're saying I, they're saying you, he, she, it, we, they. So now when we talk about pronouns, children, we say that pronouns are words that describe the naming words. We have talked about naming words, isn't it, in the previous part of this textbook. Once again, let us brush up the meaning of naming words, because pronouns are very, very closely connected to the naming words. So what are naming words? Naming words are also called as nouns. Okay, now we are going to say naming words, but remember, as you grow up, like I told you now, word exercise. When you grow up, you will call it vocabulary exercise. So in the same way, naming words, when you go to a higher class, you will call it nouns. Okay, so let us see what these naming words are. So see, book is a naming word, ball is a naming word, hat is a naming word, pencil is a naming word. So these are all the names of certain things. It could also be the name of certain people, name of certain animals, etc. So look here, there are so many naming words on this page for you. Let's read them one by one. So you have apple, then you have girl, pen, pen, den, den, ball, ball, dwr, deer, chair, chair, lion, lion, home, home, cup, boy, boy, orange, orange. So apple and orange, they are fruits. Girl and boy, they are people. Lion and deer, they are animals. Okay, den and home, they are places. Chair, ball, pen, cup, all these are things. So naming words means it could be the names of persons, it could be the names of fruits, the names of animals, the names of places, the names of things. All these are called as naming words. And what did teacher tell you? They are also called as? Yes, they are also called as nouns. Okay, so those of you who can remember nouns should remember it. Others can just say naming words. So let us talk about one particular naming word. So who's this? This is a girl. Okay, so this word girl is a naming word. Now suppose someone tells you to write 3 sentences about this particular girl. So let us see what you will write. You will write Geeta is a girl. So we have given her a name, Geeta. Geeta is 9 years old. Geeta's house is near the garden. So what have we done? We have repeated this word Geeta, Geeta, Geeta again and again and again. This is not proper to do. Okay? No one will say this is totally wrong, but repeating the noun again and again in a sentence is not very proper. So what we will do then? We will have to use some other word instead of Geeta, isn't it? So this is where we will use the pronoun. So that is why we say pronouns are words that are used instead of the naming words. So for the same girl description, Girl is a naming word. Let us see how we will describe her using pronouns. So you will say, Geeta is a girl. Again, instead of saying Geeta, we will say she is 9 years old. Her house is near the garden. Okay? So see now, we used two words instead of Geeta. We used the word she and we used the word her. Okay? So these two words are called as pronouns. So we used she and we used her instead of Geeta. Now Geeta is the naming word. Instead of that, we used she, we used her in order to make our English better. So that is why she and her are the pronouns. Okay, so hope you understood what the meaning of a pronoun is, and now we also did an example so that you understand what and how pronouns are used in sentences. Let's move on now and let's look at some more points about the pronoun. So for boy, if it is a boy, what will you say? You will say he, him, his, himself. Alright? If it is a girl, you will say she, her, hers, and herself. So for a boy, for a man, for masculine, in the poem, remember there was this word masculine, and I told you masculine means related to a boy, related to a man. So which are the pronouns for masculine? It is he, him, his, himself. And for girl it is she, her, hers, and herself. What about if it is an animal, or if it is a thing or an object? Then you will say it, its, or itself. Okay? And when there are more than one people, when there is a group of people or group of things, what do you say? You say they, you say them, you will say theirs, or you will say themselves. So this is the examples, or these are all the pronouns that you can use. There are more, children. These are not all the pronouns, but according to class 4 and according to the examples that we need to do today, these are enough for us to understand. As you grow higher, as you grow to a higher class, you will automatically learn which are the other pronouns, which are the more difficult ones. Okay? So for today we have he, him, his, himself for boys, she, her, herself for girls, it, its, itself for animals or for objects, and you have they, them, theirs, and themselves if it is a group of people. Okay? Now let's move on and let us look at some more interesting exercises. So see, if we talk about yourself, I want to talk about myself. So what is the pronoun I will use? I will say I. I am a girl. Okay? I am so many years old. I live in Mumbai. So what is a pronoun for yourself? It is I. If you are talking about you and your family, the people who are there with you, you will say we. Okay? We live in Mumbai. We means me, I, and my family. We live in Mumbai. We love to eat food. Okay? We love to go to the beach. So we means I and my family, the people who are there with me now. I and my family. Moving on, we say you when I am talking to a third person, to someone else, and that person is in front of me. I will say you. So that pronoun will be you. Can you give me your pen? Can you show me the address? Can you tell me the time? Okay? So when some other person is there in front of you, for that person, the pronoun which you use will be you. Moving on, when there are more than one people in front of you, so there is one person plus there is one more person plus there is one more person, you will not say use, but you will still say you. Okay, so for singular, for one person also it is you, and for plural, for more than one people also it is you. If you are talking about someone else, then you say she. That person is not there in front of you now, but that person is there somewhere. So you're talking about that person. You will say she. Okay? And then if it is a man, masculine, you will say he. So if it is a woman who is far away from you, that person is not there with you now, you will say she. If it is a man, you will say he. You also call it as a third person, okay? That you will learn when you go to a higher class. If it is more than one people who are not with you, okay, you will say they. If it is more than one people who are with you, you will say we. If it is they are not with you, you will say they. And finally, if it is a thing or if it is an object, you will say it. Alright, children? So this was about how you will use the pronouns in different situations. Now I have an exercise for you. Let us see whether you will be able to solve it properly. So we are supposed to match now the names or the naming words with the pronoun that should be used. So Raju and me. So Raju is with me now. Okay? So what do we say? We. Suppose I am saying Raju and me went to the market. The next sentence, I will not again say Raju and me bought fruits. We will say we bought fruits. Okay, so Raju and me will become we. Radha. Now Radha is the name of a girl. So it is feminine. So what will you say? You will say she. When you're talking about Radha, the pronoun that you will use will be she. Papa and mummy. You're talking about your parents, Papa and mummy, but they are more than one person. What will you say? You will say they. Papa and mummy, they. When you're talking about a third person, what will you say? Like Radha. Now Radha was a girl. Now suppose you want to talk about Satish. So Satish is a boy, masculine. What will you say? You will say he. For a feminine, for female, for a girl, you said she. For masculine, for male, for a man or a boy, you will say he. And for dog, which is an animal, you will say it. If you want to talk about a box, which is a thing or an object, you will again say it. Okay, children? So today's lesson was very interesting for me to teach you. I hope you found it as interesting to learn. So we talked about the English language. We talked about little other languages also. Some languages which we speak in India and some languages which we do not speak in India. We then talked about the poem. We read the poem. I explained the meaning of the stanzas to you. We looked at the various examples of singular and plural which were there in the poem along with beautiful pictures. We did some exercises also from the poem about singular and plural. And finally, we talked about pronouns in detail.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned. or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.